Live. Here we go. We are on the air. Hey everybody, how you doing? Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. How you doing today, everybody? Welcome to Monday, February the 5th. I didn't even look at my notes. I had a minute ago, but I remembered. February the 5th, Monday, new month. My goodness. Here in Creston, British Columbia, where I am. Welcome to my channel, by the way, Traveling with Bruce. Right now, I'm in Creston, BC, 3 miles north of the Idaho border. And today we're hitting 40 degrees. Yes, 40 degrees for the high. Mainly cloudy with a few sunny breaks, but yeah, that's what we got. It's a bit of a break. Lucky for me, I'm not in Calgary, where I used to live at one time. I have friends and family who live over there, and 6 hours by car, or 5 hours by car, I guess, from here. They're at -5 Fahrenheit. Have been all weekend. Terrible. I was on the air Saturday with you guys. Some of you were here, some of you are not. And on after I finished my my work and posted the video, my wife and I jumped into our car and I visited the United States of America. I came down to see how America was doing, and America's fine. Happy to report to you Americans, all is well, at least in Idaho. Drove to Bonners Ferry and did some grocery shopping. Because we Canadians, you know, even though our dollar is worth, 80 cents to the American dollar, we still know a bargain when we see one. And bought some milk, bought some butter, bought some bread, bought some groceries. Diet caffeine-free. This is an American caffeine-free Diet Coke right here. It has no bilingual lingo on it. This is a USA caffeine-free Diet Coke, my beverage of choice. Cheers to all of you viewers out there. Here we go. I can drink this with one hand. I'm excited. So that was Saturday afternoon. We left the country for about 2 hours, picked up some stuff, brought it back, and we've been eating fine ever since. So fantastic day. I want to say hi to everybody out there. Those of you who have never watched me before, you're wondering, what the heck is this guy doing? What is this live stream all about? Why is there a shadow all the time? First of all, you're looking at Bruce with Traveling with Bruce. I started my channel 5 months ago, 5.5 months ago, and I love talking about traveling, cruise ships, getting a deal on a cruise, how to identify what goes on a cruise, what you should pack and what you shouldn't pack, what you should get the day of the cruise, like when you're getting on ready to go on board, what you should buy just before you get on the ship and save a ton of money. And I love talking about new ships and cruise lines and you name it. And I do a live stream every day here, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, and on Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern. And this is kind of becoming a bit of a popular thing. I have a bunch of regulars that come in every day and watch my show. Some watch 2 times a week, sometimes watch 3 weeks. Some folks watch all 6. It's incredible. And we kibitz back and forth about what's going on in the cruise world and traveling in general. And I invite anyone who's watching right now, if you want to say hi to me, you can use your little computer or your phone, type it. What town are you watching me from, or country, or state, or city, and what's your high temperature going to be today? We usually like to compare. I always find the Floridians win. Sometimes a Californian will sneak in with a nice temperature, or maybe someone from Nevada, but I always find the Floridians kind of pull off. They have that nice Tampa weather. I have viewers from all over the world who watch this. As I said, this channel started 5.5 months ago. I had 0 subscribers, no following, no nothing, no history, no idea what I was doing. Although I'm a YouTube fan and have been for years. I've been watching YouTube for, gosh, 10 years since it started. I thought about a year ago, about a year before August, I thought I might do this. And I decided August 12th, 2017, Bruce, you're becoming a creator, and I'm going to talk about the travels I've had, people I've met, and we're going to see how this channel goes. And as we went along and I posted videos, after a few weeks, after a month or two, I realized if I mention cruise ships, my views go up. If I mention Berlin, Germany, nothing happens. But if I mention finding a cruise ship deal, my views go up. And so I began to figure out, maybe I should sort of like, go to the direction of the cruise area. So I love talking about cruise ships, and I love cruising, and I love the cruise holidays. So of course, I posted my videos about my cruises and experiences, and I've been doing videos like crazy ever since. I have playlists on all kinds of topics, and you're welcome to peruse my channel at your leisure. Anyway, about 3.5 weeks ago, I started doing these live streams, and I thought I would try it out and see if it had any following or not. and it's very popular. People really enjoy the live streams. They love the fact that there's a lot of interaction, and I love the fact that this is an open forum. You want to ask me something about a cruise ship? You want to ask me something about the MSCC site that's having all kinds of nightmares right now? You ask away. I'll try to answer your questions for you. If I can't answer it now, I'll answer it later. I'll answer it on tomorrow's show, or I'll post it in a comment. Anyway, there's a way to find an answer to a question if it's possible, and it's working. People are reacting to what I'm doing, and they have ideas. And sometimes I'll come to you with a suggestion. I'll bring a topic to the table we can talk about, and then 20 minutes into the show, we're changing directions because people are commenting on the latest thing here, or they've heard something over there, and we start to interact, and away we go. So that's what happens here on this live stream. It's kind of your show. I'm the host, and love doing it, and it's fantastic. So anyway, if you're watching right now from wherever you're at, say hi. Tell me where you're at and what's your temperature today. I've got Karen Lipshin here already saying, hi, Bruce. 20 below with wind chill in Calgary right now. Shoveled lots of snow. I know it. My daughter lives in Calgary. It's been terrible. Absolutely terrible. I can't believe it. Anyway, last thing about my channel. In December, I hit 100 subscribers from 0. In January, I started right at the beginning of January, I started hitting 200. And the last time I was on the air, I'll just grab my notes here. Last time I was on the air Saturday afternoon, I was at 531 subscribers, which is just unbelievable. I couldn't believe I hit 531 after only being at 100 in early December. Right this minute, just a few minutes ago, 593. We're 7 away from 600 subscribers. 85% of you folks who have subscribed to my channel have subscribed since the first week of December. You're all brand new. You're all newbies. Welcome to my newbie channel. This is great, and it's growing out. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers. I have to have 1,000 subscribers by February the 20th. That's the deadline that has been set by the good people at YouTube, because they've changed the monetization policies. If you're watching this right now, you probably saw a commercial at the beginning of your telecast. Don't be mad at YouTube. That's how I get paid. Without commercials, I get nada for doing this. No one pays me to do this. I'm not sponsored. I'm not a travel agent. I'm not a professional in the cruise business. This is Bruce from Creston, BC, talking about cruising, and I welcome you on board. And every time you watch a commercial, I get about a half a penny, and I really need it by many people. So every time a commercial airs, or a little banner thing appears, I get some kind of a fraction of a penny for each view, and it's just piling up. And a month ago, I was making about 50 cents a day. And 2 weeks ago, I was making about $1.50, $2 a day. On, what was it, Saturday, I made $8. $8 because of you folks. And if I were only working 8 hours a day, that's $1 an hour. So I've hit 3 digits. This is incredible. But I'll tell you, it's growing. My channel is now hitting 70,000 views. I think tonight I'll hit 70,000 total views. Not one video have I got that's ever gone viral or anything like that. I'm doing it the hard way. It's organic, and if you folks like it, you watch it, and it grows. And I had 2,800 views on Saturday. #1 day of all time, 2,800 views in one day. Over 45 different videos were watched, however, and that's a sign that I've got something going, because it's not one video that is kittens playing in a playpen. It's 45 of my videos that were watched in one 24-hour window to tally 2,800 views collectively. And that is, to me, that's stunning. And I know that from the analytics, it's extremely healthy. I watch these YouTube influencers who help you rate your channel and how you're doing. And I keep getting A+ grades from these kinds of entities saying, if you're getting that kind of coverage from your videos, you are doing something right. It would be nice to get a viral video, yes, but you can also grow organically. And a lot of my videos are watchable 6 months from now, a year from now. They'll still be useful, rather than time pieces talking about any one event that no one cares about the day after tomorrow. Now, today, I want to talk about an event that happened yesterday, the Super Bowl. I'm sure most of you watched it. Here we go. Here's the winners. You see that right there? Can you see that? It's in the light. Sorry, I'll try to bring it in a little bit. Well, anyway, there you go. The Philadelphia Eagles, yay! They won the Super Bowl yesterday. A few months ago, I did a video when I hadn't done lives yet, where I was showing off this little thing right here. I don't know if any of you've seen it. You might have seen a thumbnail on my channel for this. You might not have. But I did a video about these guys. I used to own a retail store a number of years ago where I had a sports store, and I have all these medallions. And these medallions came to me in a bulk order that I was able to put together. Here's one for the Chicago Blackhawks, still in the original factory packaging. Hope you see that okay. And on the back is a little 3M strip here. You peel this off, and you can stick this little thing anywhere. People put it on their cell phones, because they're fans, or they put it on a keychain, or they'll put it on their forehead, and then they can't get it off because it's quite sticky. Some folks will do what I've done here. You take a little piece of magnet and you stick it onto a magnet. Now you can use it as a ball marker for a golf game, or they'll just stick this onto a quarter and they'll go on the golf course and this is their ball marker. And so they show off their favorite team and use this. Anyway, I mention this because I've been trying to flog these. I'm trying to get rid of them. And you might help my channel out too. If you want one of these, go to my video that shows these sports medallions. It's in my playlists. You'll find it. Tells you how you can order 1 or 10 or 20 or whatever. And there's an address there if you want to order one. Be my guest. Love to send you one, or 5 or 10. All the teams are mentioned in the description, and you'll see them all on the thing. I don't have every NFL team. I don't have every NHL team, but I have a number of them. So if you know a fan of certain teams, and I have one for you, hey, order it. And that will help me raise some money. That would be great. And I can get rid of some of these things. Not to take up a lot of space, but I'd like them to be gone. Betsy is here today from Hamilton, Ontario. Hey, Betsy, welcome back. I think you were here on Saturday. Sharon at Sea. Now, Sharon at Sea, hi, Bruce. I'm a fellow cruise vlogger from sunny, warm Arizona. It's in the high 80s here. Oh, how dare you. Your channel popped up, so I thought I would check it out. Sharon at Sea, welcome to my channel. This is wonderful. I'm honored. A fellow YouTuber has discovered this guy, and you've popped in. That's fantastic. Who else is here? Teresa McFarlane here. Good day, -9 Celsius. Teresa, I think you're in Waterloo, Ontario, and welcome back. Sharon at Sea, this is great. I think I know your channel. I think I've seen your channel, and I'm thrilled that you're here. You have any suggestions, tidbits, by all means. Criticisms? Talk to me later. But this is great. Skyhawk 1987 Turbos here. Once again, people in Philly always destroy the city when they lose or win. Those people are just nasty. Well, that's Philly. This is called urban renewal. You win a championship, you tear the city apart, and you rebuild it. And it's all fresh and new, and you don't have to pay anyone to rip it down because the citizens do it for free. Just, they rip down stuff that maybe you don't want them to rip down. And what can I say? Anyway, it's Philly. They waited long enough. I'm so happy for the folks in Philadelphia and area. All Eagles fans. When I had my sports store selling clothing and caps and stuff, oh God, I had long-suffering Eagle fans come into my business all the time, and I'd listen to their woe, their tales of woe, and give them a sympathetic ear, and I'd say, yeah, I sure hope it goes well for you, but there's this guy named Brady with the number 12 on his back. For years, he destroys everybody, and you're just one of them. But Philly did it. Way to go. And it's just great for the NFL. I think it's great for sports that we have a team win that hadn't won the big Super Bowl like this before. This is fantastic. Jason in Charlotte, North Carolina is saying it's 50 and sunny. Yeah, nice, Jason. I know you're cold last week. You had that cold front go through. And I know folks up in Jersey and up in Nova Scotia too. It was not too pretty. But hopefully, cross our fingers, hopefully the weather will improve. It is early February. The days are getting longer, so it's got to be nicer. We hope. Okay, today's topic. I wanted to throw this one at you, folks, because I love this one. I fantasize about this all the time. And the topic is, can you live full-time on a cruise ship? Can you live full-time on a cruise ship? I've seen media stories from time to time. They talk about how to retire on a cruise ship, or a title would be something like couple takes. Husband and wife had 58 consecutive vacations on Princess or on Carnival or whatever. Man lives on a cruise ship for 5 years. These sensational type stories. I'm trying to talk about real world stuff. I thought, well, okay, what are the circumstances that would have to fall into place for someone to consider living on a cruise ship for a very long extended period of time? Full-time forever, I don't think that's realistic. But for maybe 3 months or 6 months or, almost 10 months out of a year, maybe something like that. Is that doable? Is it economically doable? Is it feasible from a practical point of view? This kind of stuff, real world stuff, I was wondering about. Just going to check my messages here. Oh, hi, Sharon at sea. Oh, Skyhawk says, hi, Sharon at sea. See, your fans are here too. This is fantastic. Anyway, I thought about this and I went, well, it is doable. There's ways that it is doable. It's a question of money. And that's the big thing. I was trying to figure out, well, of course, if you win the lottery or you're well-to-do, you can do anything you want. You can buy your own boat and live on it full time. You can have a 150-foot-long yacht with a crew of 4 or 5 people on your boat full time, looking after all you need. Of course, of course. But if you're just, average Joe, husband and wife, and you have a house and the kids are grown up, you're empty nesters, maybe you're grandparents by now, is there a way to spend an extended period of time economically on board a cruise ship? And the answer is yes, there is. Oh, yes, there is. And I was thinking about it from a personal perspective where I have, at one time, I used to live in Palm Desert, California. Lived in Palm Desert for about 7 years, probably some of the 7 best years I've ever had. Loved it down there. And at that time, I was just renting a condo on a golf course. Poor me, renting a condo on a golf course. It was hard, but I survived. Double checking some messages. I see the screen moving, so I just want to say hi to you folks. Pardon me 1 second here. Skyhawk is going crazy. He's just saying hi to everybody. If I were in my 20s, I would have done done the cruise ship thing, worked on a ship for a few years. Yeah, I'm sure you would have, and you might or might not have enjoyed it. I don't know. Any folks out there who are watching, you want to say hi? Type in what city you're watching me from. Tell me what their high temperatures today. Say hello. I'd love to have you on board. Those of you who are watching after hours, if you're watching this tonight or tomorrow, next week, I'm reading messages that are coming in live on this live stream because you can't see them on this recording that you're watching. Those of us who are watching and participating live, we see this right now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just checking my messages and relaying them to you, giving you a play-by-play of what's being said by my viewers as they're coming in. Anyway, I lived in Palm Desert for, like I said, 7 years. And I rented a condo on a golf course, and I met people down there who would rent a condo for like 3 months, 4 months. They'd come down in January or December, and they would stay, say, December, January, February, March. And then they would go back home to where they came from. And they were down from Illinois, or they were from Washington State, or they're from Canada, some from overseas, but mainly, North Americans. Northerner North Americans, Great White North in particular. But to buy or to rent a condo for like a 3-4 month period in the prime season in Palm Desert or in Phoenix or Tucson or in the Southwest U.S., let's say, it's pricey. You're talking about the prime time. You want to rent a condo in Palm Desert in July? Have I got a deal for you? 114-degree high temperatures and a nice low daily rental rate. You'll be all by yourself, but it's if you like peace and quiet, maybe that's okay. But in January or even like November, Thanksgiving, you want to rent a condo in Thanksgiving in Palm Desert? Good luck. First, you can't find any; they're all rented out. And if you can, in my neighborhood, now I wasn't in one of these high-end neighborhoods, far from it. I was in a place called the Monterey Country Club, which I believe was a 27-hole golf facility, if I recall. I'll call it solid middle class, $250,000, $300,000 condos. You were talking between $3,000 and $4,000 a month in rent, and at the high season it was $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month. But if you rented for 6 months in a row, the owner might cut you a deal for $3,000 or $3,500. It would be a turnkey, be furnished, and it would have dishes, it would have the towels, and it would have the bedding, and you just buy your own groceries, and you're on your way. You'd have a damage deposit, of course, and then you would have a cleanup fee, or you'd have room cleaning service included, or done at the end, of course. And the condo owners only really love to rent to regulars, the same couple every year. They live for that if you're an owner of a condo like that. So if you're paying $4,000 a month to rent a condo, and then you have to have a car, so drive your own or rent one when you're there, then you got to buy your meals, of course, and then your entertainment from there. But in the property that I lived in, we had our swimming pools and we had our jacuzzis. So we had that kind of resort type setting, and around the pool were loungers and tables with umbrellas. And so, you could hang out in the daytime and enjoy yourself. Most of these condos come with, they're all, of course, electricity obviously is provided, cable TV, basic, internet, basic, or you have to pay extra to get it turned on. So in some cases you have to pay a little extra, some cases you didn't. And then of course, you don't have to worry about taxes or any fees because it's part of your rent. Okay, so comparing a cruise ship to this kind of holiday is a fair fight, except for one thing: you're not in a 5-star resort; you're in a private gated community, so it's nice. You're not in Big Bear. You're not in like the high end or what's the firm? There's a resort in Palm Springs. I'll come to it. It'll come to me. There's a number of resorts in Palm Desert that are higher end, 5-star type higher end. You're not getting in there for $4,000 a month. Not a chance. So to be kind of economical, I wanted to compare one to the other. So I thought middle class to middle class. Can a middle class person afford to live on a cruise ship for 3 months straight? And is it economical and does it work? That's what my question was. First, the messages. What's happening here? Oh, what do we got? Oh, Matt's here. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Matt. How you doing? Long time no see. Welcome back, Matt. Nice to have you by. And I think Skyhawk and Sharon and C were saying hi to each other. So we're up to speed on the messages. Okay. So if you want to go say, I was thinking about this. I thought, gosh, I would love to be on a cruise ship through, say, in the Caribbean for, say, maybe December, January, February, and March. For those 4 months, that would be fantastic. So I went online today, took a look at vacationstogo.com. You folks who are regulars know that I like to go to vacationstogo.com just to see what the rates are. And I'm seeing cruises of varying prices. I'm asking for what the lower cost cruises are, but I'm kind of particular. I didn't want to look at the Carnival. I wanted to look at something a little higher level. So I'm looking at Holland America. I'm looking at Celebrity, and lo and behold, I'm finding balcony rates at $650 a week per person. But I'm finding like Ocean View for $450, $530, $540, $460 a week. And I'm going 7-day cruise, one after the other, like again and again and again and again. I'm thinking to myself, geez, I bet you for about $200 to $2,200 a month, I could book a room with, say, an ocean view rather than a balcony view, about $2,200. And now you have to add the taxes and fees, of course, port charges, taxes and fees. Then you have to add your tips. But then you do get some room credits depending on the line. You might get a $50 credit here and a $75 credit there, sometimes no credit. And then I thought about, well, what if I were to contact the cruise line or talk to my travel agent and say, hey, listen, what can I get a deal if I book 4 consecutive cruises on one ship, let's say, and then I book 4 consecutive cruises on, say, another Holland America ship that plies another area of the Caribbean? I want to mix it up a bit. Maybe I can. And I thought, well, that's all upside then. If I get that, it's even better. But even in the worst case scenario, $2,200 plus about 15-20% taxes and fees. So that's another, for the month, that would be another, say, $300. It's $2,500 a person. And then I thought, tip money, okay. And I'm doing it. I'm coming up with it. I'm going, we're in that $5,000-$6,000 range for the month, and that includes all meals. I'm in a resort. I'm traveling. I don't have any laundry to do as far as bedding, towels. The room is cleaned every day. It's spotless. I get entertainment. I don't have to pay for that. That's included as well. Meet all kinds of interesting people. I'm not going to be inside a resort in a condo where I may or may not have neighbors around and I don't know who they are. Here I'm on a cruise ship. I can say to the maitre d' at dinner time, my wife and I want to sit at a table for 10, surrounded by all kinds of people, and we can talk whatever. And one night it's a dud, next night it's fantastic, and now you got cruise buddies for the rest of the week. And I thought, geez, this makes a lot of sense. And then I thought, that once a week you're, say, in Fort Lauderdale, because the cruise ends before it begins for the next week. I'll just get off the ship in Fort Lauderdale for a few hours, pop over to the Costco or to the Walmart. I'll pick up a couple of bottles of wine for my missus, grab some caffeine-free Diet Coke for yours truly, my beverage of choice. Thank you, Coca-Cola, for the sponsorship, if only you'd call. And I thought, yeah, I'm buying this stuff at USA prices. I'm going to buy, 2 cases, 3 cases for the week. I mean, I don't have to buy it. That's going to last me. And I know that if I run out, if a stop is in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I can get a 12-pack of this stuff in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I mean, the Rite Aid is right there. So I thought, geez, yeah. And on board, with the room credit and whatnot, they have internet. Or I don't use the internet on the ship. I'll use the internet when I get to port. I'll go into a Starbucks, grab a latte, and use their internet for free. And I thought, wow, this is doable. You don't need a car, so I don't have to worry about paying to run it or what have you. Excuse me. I'm thinking, geez, this might be doable. And then I'm going on and reading articles about how people are retiring on cruise ships or spending extra time, and they're comparing the cost of an assisted living center, like a retirement home or a active senior retirement center, to a cruise ship. And I thought, if you're going to do that, there's no comparison, because you're talking two people in an assisted living center. You're looking at 4,000-6,000 a person. I mean, it could be really ridiculous. Now, if you're in really bad health, poor health, this won't work. You'll have to be in a retirement center, or you're gonna have to live at home with the kids looking after you and having nursing care come to you. Of course, I'm talking about someone who's able to get around. Now, it might be a motorized scooter. You can still have the old motorized scooter we've talked about before, or walkers. You can get around a cruise ship with that. But I'm talking about being on dialysis or something like that. No, probably not. Then I thought about some other thoughts. I thought, well, what if you're on medication? Your doctor's giving you prescription for certain drugs. Well, geez, the cruise ship goes to Cozumel once a week. You're in Cozumel, Mexico. Guess what you're going to buy there? Your prescription medicines you're going to buy there at 1/10 the price you'll pay in the United States. And then I thought, what if you get a toothache? What if you need dental work? You'll get your dental work done in Mexico. I see the videos all the time. Day procedures, of course. And I thought, what if I needed a new crown? I got to go to the dental chair and then come back for a second fitting. I'll see you next week, Doc. I'll be here next week, Tuesday. I'm on the cruise this week. I'm on the cruise next week. I'm on the cruise the week. I'll see you. I'll be here once a week. You can work on me then. I thought, wow, that's a heck of a deal. So I was putting all this together, and I thought, geez, there's more to this than meets the eye. I want to get your thoughts. What do you think about this? Is there any reason to this? Does it make any sense? What are your thoughts? S. Swan is here. Hey, Bruce, enjoy your live vlogs. Hi, S. Swan. Welcome to the broadcast. Nice to have you. Jerome Perone is here. Hey, Bruce, any comments on the stock market? Laugh out loud. Yeah, I love that. I used to be in the stock market. Down 1,100 today. Yeah, 2 days in a row, we've lost, 8%? That's called a correction. First one under this presidency. Oh, it's going to be fun. Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm here. Nice to see Sharon at sea, my new travel agent. Sharon, they're following even my people. My peeps are your peeps. This is wonderful. S. Swan coming in from North Carolina. Temp is about 40s, around 40s. Yeah. I just heard from a North Carolinian 50s. Yeah, right in that range. So this traveling, this being at sea thing, and then I thought about something else. Folks, work with me on this, because I had all kinds of thoughts on this idea. What if you're on a cruise ship for like 2 or 3 months in a row, and now it's coming up to March, April, okay? No, actually, got to go back a step. It's Christmas, because people say to me, Bruce, you can't be on a cruise ship in December. What about Christmas and the kids? And I thought, you know what? Get the kids to come and visit Grandma and Grandpa on the ship. How about them apples? They'll come and visit us, because we're on board this ship. They know what cruise we're on. We've given them our itinerary. They can book a cruise at Christmas time with the kids to spend with Grandma and Grandpa, rather than the other way around. Now, I get it. If you have to have Christmas with the children in the winter time, which my wife would make me want to do, fine. We'll get off the ship in Tampa or in Miami, and we'll plane ride it up to Canada, all the way up to Canada, do the darn Christmas for a week, and Daddy will be itching to get out. And as soon as that's over, back down south we go. We're heading back to the cruise ship. We're back on board. But to me, I would say to my daughter, her husband, or any grandkids, if that comes along, why don't you come down and spend a week with us at Christmas time on board the cruise ship? One time. You've never done it before. You may never want to do it again. This might become an annual tradition. Have you ever thought of that? We could book the cruise for the Christmas thing on Royal Caribbean if you want, like the flow rider machine, and you have to have the rock climbing wall. Fine. Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa will be on board the cruise ship for that week. We'll find a deal for that week, and you can come and join us then, if that must be the way. Now, I understand, though, and Sharon at Sea will know this, come New Year's Eve, some of these New Year's Eve cruises can be pricey. It all depends. Some are cheap, some are not. The first week of January, the deals are on, and you can really score some really cheap weeks at sea. And if if your heart is set on a balcony, then great, book the balcony. My thinking was, if I know I'm on this ship for 4 solid weeks and I'm not going to be unpacking and packing and unpacking, my thought is I'll take an ocean view room instead of a balcony, because the ship is my balcony. I'm living on it. My living room is the ship. My rec room is the ship. My spa is the spa on the ship. My room is just my bedroom. That's just where I crash at night. Where I spend my time is out of that room. And so, do I need a balcony per se? Yes and no. All depends what you want, how you want it, and again, what do you want to spend? Because if it's $200 a week more per person, it's $400 more, $1,600 a month more. If it's in your wheelhouse, you can handle it. Great. But otherwise, this could make cruising affordable. Now, to finish my other thought, it's March, coming to April. What about now? What are we going to do? My thought now is repositioning cruise to Europe. I can cross the Atlantic Ocean on a 15-day, 16-day repositioning cruise. I can even grab a balcony, and I'm looking at $50-$60 a night. I know, okay, and we're going to go to the Canary Islands, the Azores, maybe stop in Lisbon, stop in Barcelona. We end up in Rome, perhaps. Great. Now I'm in Rome. Now, will I start taking Mediterranean cruises? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the pricing, right? If I have relatives or friends in Europe, I'll visit them for a little while. There's a thought. On the other hand, come springtime, guess what else happens? Repositionings through the Panama Canal up to Seattle and up to Vancouver. Why? Alaska cruises. So now we've got the summertime Alaska cruising season. There are deals there too. So in effect, you can transition from the Caribbean along with the ship and move on up to Alaska and do Alaska for a while. So there's that. And if you're just doing this as a winter getaway, and that's what I was comparing originally, Palm Springs or Palm Desert getaway to a Caribbean cruise ship getaway. If it's just those 3-4 months, and then you go back home to where your home is, and winter's over, and you can spend summer in your native Minnesota or Canada or wherever you're from in the north, great. You can play that game too. The other game too, if you can play if you're going to be a full-time cruiser, is it's August. It's late August. You know what? My wife and I are going to fly one way from the U.S. or Canada to London, England. And we're gonna be in Europe for a little while, and then we're gonna grab a repositioning cruise back to the Caribbean, across the Atlantic, all the way down to Miami, and we've booked our Caribbean cruises, and now we're down here for a while. So you can see how you can be on a cruise ship for the cheap time of the year, for the bargain basement time of the year, and maybe avoid the cruise ships for the more expensive time of the year. And that could be, prime time Alaska season, prime time Mediterranean season. Well, you're home anyway, it's summer. So that was the thought there. Anyway, your thoughts would be more than welcome on that, if you have any. What do we got for any other comments here? Doreen is saying, hello, +12 here. Doreen, way to go. And Debbie's here. Debbie Emanuel. Hi, Bruce. Enjoy your channel. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. For those of you who've never been here before, you can, if you wish, do nothing and just watch. You could type in and say hi to us and tell me, where are you located? What's your high temperature going to be today? I'm in Creston, British Columbia here in Canada, 3 miles north of the Idaho border. We're about 40 degrees today. We've been kind of cloudy with a little bit of sunniness, but it's melting. And no wind. We're quite calm here. I'm talking about cruise ships, holidays, cruise lines. Today's topic I threw out there was, could you live on a cruise ship full time? Could you live on a cruise ship for, say, 3 months in a row, a year? How about a repositioning cruise from Los Angeles to Australia? How about that one? I've seen Australian deals in December and January. You can get a 10, 12-day Australia, New Zealand, or Australia, Fiji, New Caledonia type area cruise. You can get 10, 12-day cruises there for great, great prices. Royal Caribbean is down there, Norwegian is down there, Princess is down there, P&O is down there. You just have to have a travel agent that works for you, works with you. Now, it might be a human being, or you do it yourself on vacationstogo.com or some of the other websites, but I'd be using a travel agent, and I would be saying to this travel agent, you want my business? I got business. How would you like to book 4 months of cruises for me, 5 months of cruises for me? Work with me. Help me get creative here on some places I've never been before. We want to see as much of the world as humanly possible at the cheapest possible price in 5-star luxury on a cruise ship. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. You know, you can't beat it. I mean, there's no way you can fly from LA to Sydney, Australia, spend a month down in Australia, and try to do the hotel thing and the bed and breakfast thing and renting a car thing and figuring out your food thing. You'll see the land. There's no doubt about that. You've got a car, so you're going to see things that you won't see off a cruise ship. I totally get it. But on the other hand, you're a little older and you're not as active as you used to be, and you kind of like being pampered. And you know, come dinner time, you go down to the dining room to your usual table, or you're telling the maitre d', seat us with 6 people we don't know, because we want to meet people that we've never met before. We want to talk stories. We've got an interesting story. We're on a cruise ship full time. I mean, that's an interesting story right there. But you like to meet people you've never met before, or who've done things in their lives that you know, you might meet a doctor and his wife. You might meet a gal who was a lawyer all her life. You might meet people who've, you know, school teachers and engineers. You have no idea, and you're going to get stories. Oh, you're going to get stories. Wonderful way to enhance and grow your knowledge and absorb information and hear stuff you never thought you'd hear. I think it's a fantastic way to go. What a great way to spend some time as a you know, mature person that's been around a while. Just a thought. Let's see here. What do we got, Doreen? Oh, Debbie is saying hi. Crash 3X is here. Hello, -10 today. That's Ottawa, Ontario. Hi, Crash 3X. How you doing? Doreen Chapman says that's our temp for tonight. Crash 3X. Crazy weather here in Nova Scotia. Yeah, it's winter, and it can be absolutely nutso. Western Canada right now, they are freezing big time and really in the snow. Doreen is saying +12 now. Yeah, the extremes are crazy. Even in Canada. Those of you who don't know, if you're Americans, you Americans up down there, here in Canada, we can have weather in the middle of winter, like in the dead of winter. We're in the West Coast, it can be 40, 45, 50 degrees. In the middle of the country, it can be -30. Ontario can be like 0. And the Maritimes can either be +20 or -20. We have, it's all over the darn place. We have so many mountain ranges and systems and Arctic vortexes, and it's nuts. Anyway, that's another story. So that was a few thoughts on living full-time on a ship. Some of the advantages I thought about was 5-star dining, no dishes, don't have to worry about making your bed. You don't have to make your bed. I mean, come on. You don't have to worry about your cleaning your towels, get fresh towels every day. Your bedding is changed all the time. The room is cleaned every day. They take the garbage out every day. You don't have to take out the garbage. Have you thought about that? Full resort living, of course. On a cruise ship, yes, full resort living. You control your destination. You can decide, we're going to stay on this ship for 2 weeks. Then we're going to stay on that ship for 2 weeks. Then we're going to go on this ship for 2 weeks. And this is just the Caribbean. And at the end of 6 weeks, we've been to 25 different ports in the Caribbean. And now we know which ones we like. Well, now we know what the ones we don't like so much. And guess what you do from then on? You start targeting the ships that go to the ports you want to go to because you've enjoyed it. Wonderful way to control your itinerary. You control the ship, you control the cruise line. You can do in the wintertime, you can do the Caribbean, you can do Australia or Asia, you can do Mexico. There's the Mexican Riviera if you can get deals there. In the summertime, you've got the Mediterranean, you've got Alaska, and you have Northern Europe. There's the whole planet is waiting for you at beck and call. More cruise ships are coming online all the time. And depending on the itinerary, certain cruise lines are going to compete with others for your business. And it all depends on what your budget is and whether you're going to take an inside room, an ocean view room, or a balcony room, or a suite. You control the budget. Florida. What I love about the idea of a cruise ship in the wintertime, coming back to Florida at the end of the cruise and beginning in the next one, I can turn over my booze, my cola, my sunscreen, can grab a cheap, new cheap pair of shoes or bathing suit, whatever. But on the cruise in the Caribbean, if I'm going to be in Mexico, I know I can get my prescription drugs cheap. I can get dental work done cheap. I can get all kinds of medical procedures done on the cheap. There's always, of course, insurance, health insurance, travel insurance. I love that. And like I said earlier, have your family come and visit you when they want to visit you. So you were in Christmas time, you went home to the winter and you met them, you saw the kids, grandkids, what have you. And your son and daughter, or your daughter and son-in-law, they want to get away, and they know that in the middle of February you're on a Caribbean cruise on the Holland America Eurodam, and you're visiting, San Martin and St. Thomas and San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Sequa. Well, why don't you have them come down and meet up with you for a week? And they can grab a balcony suite on one side of the ship. You've got your room on the other, and you got the kids, and you're seeing them for a week, and then they leave, and you're on your own again. What a wonderful! I tell you right now, you'll be shocked at how many friends, how many neighbors, how many golfing buddies, how many folks from you used to work with. They're all going to find out. Oh, Don and Jerry are on a cruise ship full time for the entire winter. We've never been on a cruise before. You know what we should do? We should go down on that cruise and catch up with them, and they can show us around. That's what's going to happen. You're not going to be lonely. You might have to keep this quiet. Don't tell anybody. I'm on a cruise for 4 months. I don't want them finding me. It might be the opposite problem. Just saying. AJ Walsh is here, 75 degrees today. You're killing me, AJ, from Las Vegas. Welcome, sir, or her. Welcome. Elizabeth is saying it's better than hanging out with a ton of old people. There you go. I'll tell you that. Yeah, why not? I'll tell you that would be, to me, I think that is so doable, especially if you're going to compare it to, taking a 3-month holiday down in Scottsdale, or and you've done Palm Springs 5 years in a row, right? Every year we're in Palm Springs, and we have friends down there. Let's say we got pals, and it's great. Well, maybe this winter you break it up a bit, and for maybe 2 months we're going to cruise, do nothing but cruise, and then for the other 2 months we'll go to our pals down in Palm Springs, Palm Desert. It might turn you. It might convince you to go. Those folks are okay in Palm Springs, but geez, I could really like this 5-star thing and not having to make a meal the entire time I was on that ship. I didn't have to make anything. I didn't have to buy any groceries. Wow. And, I'm buying, duty-free liquor. I'm not sure how this works. Travel agents can tell you where you might be able to buy duty-free liquor on board and take it off the ship and bring it on the ship. I don't know if you can get away with that. Wine, yeah. But buy it at the Costco in Fort Lauderdale, and bring your $6 wine that the ship is selling for $40 for, and enjoy. Why not? Doreena's saying, "Wow, I could only dream of cruising like that." Let's see, the comments are coming in now. Crash Rex says, "We had weather like that 2 weeks ago. Real nice with hours deep freeze. Yep, up and down for sure." The Crash Rex is saying. She read about an older woman who lives on a princess ship, costs $350,000 a year approximately. Oh yeah, you can spend that kind of money. I've heard people spending less than $60,000 a year, less than $5,000 a month. I bet you can do it less than that. I really do. I bet you can. AJ Walsh, hello from Las Vegas. Elizabeth's better than that. Hanging out with some old people. Elizabeth saying Daytona. Elizabeth, you're in Daytona. Fantastic. Crash X, there's YouTube videos about older women living on a ship. AJ Walsh saying, don't forget to mention the World cruise ship. They sail all over the world. You own the apartment cabin, very expensive to buy in. You're right. I have talked to people about that. I've heard about $1 million for a unit, and then you're paying some kind of a condo fee on a monthly basis. And the ship will be at sea for several days, come to a port, stay in a port for a while, 2 or 3 days, and then we'll move on to another location. Been at sea for a while, and I think there's one of them. I think Sam J is saying, "What's up, Bruce? Sorry, I'm a little late. Furnace went out this morning. 6 degrees outside, 46 degrees inside. Oh, get the layering going. Start layering and layering now. Oh man, that's not good. Now you'd kill for a space heater. You'd kill for a space heater. Yeah, turn the oven on. Get the oven on to 400. Open the door every 10 minutes. Let the air out. Close it again. Oh, that's expensive. Yeah, you're gonna get that furnace fixed, no doubt about it. Yeah, being on board a cruise ship, like I say, the budget. If the budget isn't a problem, then cruising full time isn't a problem. You can spend $350,000 a year, and you don't have to be on a cruise ship. You can be on your own boat. I have a YouTube channel I love to follow where the young couple is on a catamaran, but I'm not mechanically inclined to repair it. I don't want to do that. There are those who out there who say, oh, RVing is the way to go. You have your house on wheels. You can camp anywhere you want. You can do land out in the middle of the desert. It's free. Whatever turns you on. It's not, I'm not interested in changing the tire. I'm not interested in house breakdowns. My thinking is if I'm on the cruise ship and something isn't working in the room, I just call the steward, the cabin steward, and he'll fix it. They'll get it repaired. What's going to break down in my suite, generally speaking? I'm in a 5-star resort, and I don't have to worry about the little things. I don't have to really worry about much of anything, to be honest. So yeah, that's a thought. I would think though some people would say, well, maybe you're going to have a weight problem. Like I haven't got one now, but maybe you're going to have a weight problem because you're on a cruise ship all the time and you're surrounded by all that decadent food. Well, that's true. But you know what? I find that if you're on a longer than a 1-week cruise, if you're on like an 8 or 10 or 12 or 14-day cruise, I'll tell you right now, folks, after day 5, and you know you got 7, 8 days to go, you're not eating like you were the first day, the second day. You're just not. Your appetite shuts down for a while. Your body says, enough. Get back to a little bit of normal here. You're killing me. And you'll find that, well, today I just feel like having some fruit for breakfast, or I'm not going to have that gigantic breakfast. I'm going to have a mediocre sized breakfast, and I have a nicer sized lunch. Or you're going to find I'm going to nibble in the breakfast time, have a little nibble at lunch, I'm going to have a big dinner. You'll find your pace and you'll kind of settle in. The other thing you'll figure out too is you know the ship like the back of your hand, so you'll walk the decks. You can go to the exercise room. There's the workout people there. Tell them, I need help. I'm gaining weight. Help me. They'll help you. There's a drill sergeant there waiting to take care of you. So there's always that. Oh, it's a laugh out loud. SJ saying, Teresa McFarland saying, my husband and I plan on doing RVing during the winter. Yeah. You know, this is something that I thought about it about 10, 15 years ago when I was in my 40s, 50s. I thought, boy, you know, that'd be kind of cool. You know, if you'd had an RV and you could sort of take the winter and head south, being from Canada, we all Canadians think about, boy, it should be nice to go down south for the winter. We all are doing that. But RVing is one way to go. And we know Canadians, there's all kinds of Canadians that leave Canada in around October and head south. And they're heading to Florida, or they're heading to Georgia, or they're heading to Texas, or to Arizona and California. And some, Mexico. You can RV in Mexico on the cheap. If you want to go all the way down, and it's not unusual for 4 or 5 RVers to kind of band together, form a little caravan, and cross the border together into Mexico, and boogie all the way down to Mazatlan or Puerto Vallarta area. And there are all kinds of RV parks down there that cater to long-time RVers that are here for a month or 2 or 3 or 6, and you can get all your services done all at the same time. Well, something else I was going to mention is laundry. What do you do about your laundry on a cruise ship? And I thought about that, and I know that on some of the cruises I've been on, you get a flyer somewhere on like day 5, and it'll say something like, we got a special. We have this bag here, and all the laundry you can fit in this bag is a flat price. It might be $10, $15, $20, whatever the deal is. And if you can shove in, all your underwear and stuff, we'll do your laundry for you, deliver it back to your room when it's done. That's one option. The other option that I like is, and I stole this from an RV video I watched a little while ago, where folks were in Mexico for the wintertime for a good 2 months. They're in an RV park, and people were coming by on a daily basis, some of these Mexican folks, locals. And one of them, she was running a laundry service, and they would pick up your laundry. You'd hand them like a basket or whatever however you gave them in garbage bags. You give them laundry in a garbage bag. They would take the laundry to their home, literally, and they would do your laundry for you, and then they would bring back your laundry all folded, all done, all wrapped in like a plastic type wrap, and that'd be later that afternoon, and it was like $2, $3 a load. It was such a bargain. And I thought, oh, geez, if I've got a cruise ship on every Wednesday, I'm in Cozumel, on this weekly cruise. I'm in Cozumel every week. I'm gonna get off the ship at 8 a.m. I'm already gonna know, because I'm gonna ask around. I'm gonna find laundry service at the ship, and I'll tell you right now what's gonna happen. I'm gonna roll off a cheap suitcase full of dirty laundry. Gonna hand it to my laundry individual, either at the pier or just at the end of the pier, and 4 or 5 hours later, they're going to text me and say, laundry's done, we're here. And I'm going to come down to pick it up, and it's $10, and I got a whole 3 loads of laundry done, 2 loads of laundry done, all in one shot for 10, 12 bucks. I'm telling you, it's doable. It exists. I think that would be I think that'd be cool. It's just me. What do we got? Elizabeth saying, my husband is a long haul trucker. Cruises are way better. Yeah, someone's had enough of the road. You can sort of see that. Crash Your X is saying, I used a scrubba on my last a scrubba on my last cruise. I'm reading this, folks, so I'm trying to figure out what this means. It worked great, and I also use it at home for small loads. Found it on where else? YouTube. Okay. Well, there's something. I wouldn't want to do my own laundry. I'm that lazy. I wouldn't want to do my own laundry. I would far rather have it done either by the ship, and I'll pay the price, or wait for the special. If I know that every Thursday, every 5th day on the cruise is the deal, I'll wait. Or I'll find an onshore service either in Jamaica, either in Mexico, to do my laundry there. And if worst comes to worst, okay, I'm in Fort Lauderdale or I'm in Miami. Oh, okay, I guess I could go to a laundromat, somewhere on my day run. But I don't want to hang out in a laundromat for 3 or 4 hours during my lunch. No. Even though I know I'm going to be on this 5-star resort waiting for me at the pier later today. No, I'd rather hand it to someone and say, do that. I'm going golfing. I got a golf round. I got a golf game booked in Cozumel. I'm going to go golfing, maybe with a couple buddies I met on the cruise, maybe not. And then at the end of the golf game, I come back down to the pier, and my laundry will be waiting, and I'll take it back on board. I don't think I'm being unrealistic here. I'm being very lazy and Western oriented, yes, but that's just what I am. What can I tell you? Yeah. So I thought, why not? Anyway, thoughts. Any of you ever thought of going on a long-term cruise like that? I've thought about a world cruise. Wouldn't that be nice to go on a round-the-world cruise? The problem is the dollars. I can't find anything under like $200 a night on average. 100-day cruise, $20,000. Big money. And now you're committed to the long term of the cruise. Whereas if you're taking, say, series of week-long cruises or 10-day cruises, say the Caribbean thing, and you get ill, badly ill. I mean, medically, you're not doing too well, and you come off the ship and you've got to go to the hospital. You can cancel certain cruises further out. You might lose your prepay on the next cruise that's taken off today, but next week's or next month's maybe you get partial refunds, or you have insurance, and you don't have to worry about the rest of it. But if you get ill 25 days into a 100-day cruise, and you're in I don't know, Papua New Guinea, or you're in Fiji. Problem, So again, it's to each person's health level, and your insurance and your medical condition. Everyone, we're all different. We all have to figure out. Messages seem to be flying through here. Let's see what's going on here. Crash says, I have found cruise laundry too harsh on my clothes. They come back faded and stiff. I'm very sensitive to detergents and soaps. And good thoughts there. Totally get you. Teresa is saying the ship would do it for free if your status is high enough. Well, after about 10 cruises in a row, maybe after 70 days, you kind of reached a certain level, right? Good point. Karen is saying laundry is free depending on your benefit level. If you are going to cruise for that many days, you will reach this level. There you go. It's just like I said. And then Richard's here. Richard Koromaski. There is a 70-day cruise from Sydney to New York via the Suez Canal. Hits all the great ports in between. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'm kind of thinking that sometimes a great way to see the world and get a longer term cruise is on a longer repositioning type cruise. Of course, you've got the say 13 to 16 day typical repositioning cruises over the Atlantic from say Florida to the Mediterranean area. But sometimes you can catch a nice repositioning cruise, maybe Dubai to Rome, or Dubai to Hong Kong, or from Sydney to Dubai. Might be a repositioning cruise, and then the ship is going to ply the Mideast after that. The trick is just getting to the ship. But again, as I've said before, those of you who are most of you probably haven't seen me talk about this, but I'm a big fan of Emirates Airways. I think Emirates has got a business model that is just second to none. They use Dubai, of course, as their international hub. That's where they're from. And I was thinking, boy, if you're in, say, taking a repositioning cruise from Florida, and you end up in Rome, and you do Italy for a week or so, bed and breakfasts and what have you, and try to keep it reasonable on expenses. And your next great cruise is Rome to Sydney, Australia, a repositioning cruise. Just spitballing here. Well, flying Emirates nonstop from Rome to Dubai, $400-500 one way. How can you beat that? Flying in a brand new aircraft, probably an A380. You get to Dubai, spend a couple of days there, get on the ship and go. On the other hand, I've seen great cruises that just do the Middle East area. They do Dubai, they do Muscat, they do Abu Dhabi. They don't go very far in a distance kind of way. They might pop over to India for a little bit and back, like a 1-week cruise, 10-day cruise. You might find some great deals on a couple of those consecutively. And then you get that repositioning cruise from Dubai back to Rome or to Barcelona, and you grab one of those. If the next repositioning cruise is Sydney, Australia to Singapore, Emirates Airways from Dubai to Sydney, Australia, one way, $500-600. You're in Sydney. You might as well spend a week or two in Australia while you're there, then get on a cruise and reposition yourself that way. So between a combination of flights and repositioning cruises, and then some regional cruises once you're in a certain region, you may be able to cobblestone together a 12-month trip that includes 9 months of cruise ship time, 3 months of flying time and bed and breakfast time, maybe buy a rail pass in Europe for 2 weeks or 2 months and do that for a while. I mean, the combinations are endless. You just have to be open-minded about it, but you gotta be willing to live out of a suitcase from time to time, and that's a tough sell. It's easier for a guy to do it. It's tougher for a woman to do it. I get it, but if the couple is in on it and it's a one-time adventure, this might be the trip of a lifetime. And you kind of take yourself back to when you were university students, or just out of high school, and you traveled for 6 months, kind of thing, out of a backpack. But now you're not quite out of a backpack. You're out of a little nicer backpack. It's got wheels. Who knows? Let's see what else we got here. Any other messages? Have I caught anything here? Reach out level. No, I'm up to speed on my messages. So yeah, there's ways to take these trips to make it work for you. It's just a matter of what's your tolerance level, and if the husband can work on the wife, or if the wife can work on the husband, because I'm getting messages from you folks who are saying to me, I want to go on a cruise, but my husband is reluctant to do it. The guy just doesn't want to do it. Well, you get him on a 1-week cruise first, and maybe it's Mexican Riviera, maybe it's a Caribbean cruise, and let's see how that goes. And maybe if there's a like about that, if you want to do something longer, you talk about it. Go, well, why don't we talk about doing 2 weeks, one back to back, and we'll do one cruise on the Westerdam, one cruise on the Eurodam, or we'll do one on the Oasis of the Seas, and we'll have a couple of days in say Miami, and then we'll catch the next cruise, which might be a celebrity cruise for a week. Why don't we try 3 or 4 different cruise lines over 6 weeks? We'll try one cruise, take a week on land, take one more cruise with another ship company, week on land, play that game. You may find that Holland America's for me, or it's going to be celebrity. That's the way to go. If we can get deals on celebrity, let's do 4 or 5 of those in a row. You're on a cruise ship you love, you're in an area that you want to be at, and you've got variety because they have more than one ship. You never know. Betsy is saying, I would like to see Pitcairn and Henderson Island and Easter Island. Yeah, there's a bucket list spot for you. And I don't ever see deals to like the Galapagos. I don't ever see deals to like Antarctica, that kind of thing. Although I did mention a cruise about a week ago, a repositioning cruise. I think it was San Juan, Puerto Rico to Lisbon on a cruise ship. Trying to remember who was operating it. You folks might remember it or not. It was a 2-week deal, a suite for $50 a night per person, $100 a night for a couple in a suite on a glorified yacht. It was it looked like a giant yacht with 160 suites, 5-6 star everything. Sometimes you can get a deal like that, and you just got to do it. You just got to do it, even if you're stranded in Lisbon You get there and you don't have a ship to take you somewhere else. Who cares? You're in Lisbon. You got there for $50 a night each. You've just been pampered for 2 weeks. You take a high-speed train ride to either Barcelona to grab a ship there, or you take a Ryanair cheapo flight to Rome or to London to get to Southampton. You're going to find your next ship somewhere. You'll have figured it out in advance. Get some Europe land time in. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, Richard is saying, Bruce, remember, the cruise lines have packages that give great airfare on their sites to encourage you to fly distances. Very good. I also found you don't have to start and end at the same port. Yes, sir. And I was going to mention this a couple of days ago. I think it was on my Saturday cruise. I was going to mention this little thing because you touched on it, Richard, something I wanted to go into. But I had so many questions from viewers that we just kind of talked all day long. I wanted to mention something that's coming up. This is a trend. I think this is a new trend that's coming, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it because the cruise business, as we all know, is expanding. 6 to 8% growth a year. Not only in the major lines, like we know about Carnival, we know about Royal Caribbean and Norwegian. We know about these guys. We know Disney's got 3 ships on order. We know MSC has got ships on order. I think 7, despite the Seaside's problem. We know these large lines with their subsidiary lines are all growing out. Nothing new there. What also is happening is there are a lot of new, smaller boutique cruise lines, mainly in Europe, that are beginning to show up. Some boutique lines only concentrate on Greece and the in the Mediterranean area. We never hear about them. Unless you're over there, you don't even see the marketing for them, because why would they market to someone in St. Louis or in Creston, British Columbia, Canada? The odds of getting me to go all the way over there to catch a cruise, impossible. They got to get me past the counter, the Carnival counter, and the Royal Caribbean counter to get me all the way over there. I totally get that. But there are a lot of new boutique companies coming in. Of course, we all know about the river cruising, and that's expanding rapidly. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that as more and more river cruise companies and ships come on stream online, that the cost will come down and that we'll be able to afford some of these. Because some of these river cruises I would love to take, but at $400 a night per person, it's out of the reach of a lot of people. And so that's going to have to change. But what I'm beginning to see happening, and what I think is going to really happen here, is what I'm referring to as combo deals. And what I'm talking about with respect to a combo deal, I'm just looking over here to read my notes. It won't be unusual to start seeing 14-day offers come our way probably through travel agents, first of all, because they'll be the frontline people to give, make us aware of this. But it'll come to the point where we're going to be offered all-inclusive deals that include airfare, a land-based all-inclusive resort, and a cruise, all in combination. And you may fly from wherever you're starting from. You may fly to one destination, which might be the ship, and you'll start with a cruise, and then you'll get off the cruise at a different location than what the cruise started at, and you're now in a destination spot where there's a resort, and it's an all-inclusive resort. You'll do that for perhaps the second week, and then from there you'll fly back home. This is coming. This is going to probably start in Europe if it hasn't already, and it's going to vary. We're going to see, I think, cruise itineraries from between 3 and 7 and 10 days. And I think we're going to see land-based all-inclusive itineraries, same thing, 3, 7, 10 days each. And so you're going to have, 6-day, 8-day, 12-day, 15-day, 25-day combination deals where all of these will be incorporated in one package, and both operators are in effect connected to each other. Now, the ship might be a brand name cruise line for the cruise, and then the resort is operated by a brand named, Thomas Cook Travel or that type of thing for the resort. And then the airfare may well be a combination of charter, or it'll be a combination of, say, with an airline or two. We don't know. I really think this is coming because we the customers, we're demanding it. We are not interested in being boxed into a cookie cutter type deal anymore. We want to have variety. A lot of us who are, if you're in your 30s right now, I wish I were in my 30s, the world is getting so much smaller, and you've got to wow me, man. Wow me with an offer I can't refuse. You can't get me anymore on just a 7-day cruise that might not be enough for me. But if you can offer me 7 days in, say, St. Bart's at an all-inclusive resort, or in Dominica, or even Mexico, and you can also give me a 7-day cruise, and you can take care of my airfare and sell me the package, just the whole thing, I got a holiday I'm going to talk to my friends about for years. And for the tour operator, whoever can coordinate it, they got themselves a hell of a deal, because you've got power with the airline for volume, power with the resorts, and power with the cruise company. And I think this is an area where I think travel agents are going to really get into it, because the commissions are outstanding. They're going to be absolutely outstanding. I can see this happening. It's going to come along. Just checking a couple more messages. Richard is saying here, Richard Karmaski, with the river cruises, some people I worked with love them, but depending on water levels on the river, the cruise may become a bus trip of Europe, and you don't move by boat. It happened to one coworker. Yeah, flooding. If there's flooding, these river boats are going to be parked. They're not going anywhere. They can't. They're not allowed to be moved anywhere. The folks who operate the river systems, the waterways, the countries, they're going to stop all river traffic. And so these river boats are done. And now for you to get to the cities that you were supposedly going to get to along this river cruise, you're in a bus, and you're going to be put up in hotels. And that's what you did. You didn't sign up for that. But yeah, that can definitely happen. Crash 3X is saying, I've done that. It is called a stay and play. We flew to DR, Dominican Republic, I'm going to guess, got on a Costa ship. We did a week aboard, then disembarked in La Romana, and then DR, then went to a resort for another week. It was great. Yeah. I think this is going to become very much more mainstream. I think we're going to really, it's going to be in our face soon, really in our face. And it's going to be economically, it's going to be very economical. I can see where cruise operators and resort operators and airlines are going to put their heads together and say, okay, let's put package deals together and make this work. But I think what'll happen is a cruise, a tourist agency that specializes in charter bookings, it'll be a charter operator that's going to pull this first one off on a massive scale for economic impact, where planes are going to be chartered, say 100 seats per flight. Resorts are going to be booked, 50 rooms, 100 rooms per week or more. And cruise ships are going to be, 100 suites, 200 suites at a time. And I can see where, vast amount of people are going to be offered a killer deal. I mean, a $1,500 2-week package, a $1,900 all-inclusive with alcohol and specialty dining, deal upon deal, and they're going to fly off the shelf. I see it. I see this coming, and I see it becoming quite attractive. I can imagine the wedding market would be massive for this. You can just imagine you getting married on the ship, and you're having a honeymoon at the resort, and it's all taken care of. Wow, that could be really something. Paula K is here. Hi, Paula. Hi, Bruce. 23 degrees in Hanover. That's Pennsylvania. Staying in the cold. Yeah, you are. Oh, man. Sorry to hear it. Paul, I got you beat. I'm at 40 degrees. I'm here in Canada, in Creston. I went to Bonners Ferry, Idaho on Saturday afternoon to do some grocery shopping. 50 degrees. 50. It was fantastic. I was thinking about playing golf. I mean, I'm a Canadian. No, I wasn't. But, in my head, at one time, I would have thought about that. Great to have you, Paula. Welcome back. Yeah, folks, I think this is something we're going to see more of. We're going to start seeing these combo type deals coming. I don't hear much. I don't see much on YouTube yet from YouTubers who are saying, "Oh, went on a great cruise." It was a week-long cruise, had 4 stops, played 4 rounds of golf, or went on a charter fishing boat 4 times. Each time went charter fishing, all included with my cruise. Doesn't happen. It's you got to take your cruise, and then you book your excursions on board the ship, one at a time, and they put together 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever number of people, and off they go. I don't see pre-marketing of this sort of stuff. I don't see, for example, a cruise leaves Los Angeles or San Francisco, going to Hawaii. and you're going to be in Hawaii for a week, a whole week. We're going to be out there on board, and it includes 5 rounds of golf, or 3 rounds of golf, and 3 charter fishing days, or it includes a trip up the Volga, like a whole package. It includes all the onshore excursions up front. Pick your package. Package excursion number 1, excursion number 2, excursion. I don't see that being marketed heavily. I see the cruises being marketed. Yes, we have a 15-day Hawaii cruise, inside room, ocean view, balcony. But the other activities are still kind of secret, and you have to kind of do some detective work to figure out what those are, and maybe only the travel agent knows what they are. I don't see them coming at me or on TV. I don't see the television ad for Royal Caribbean promoting onshore activities. I only see Royal Caribbean promoting at me. You can ride the wave riding machine on board the ship. You can rock climb on board the ship. You can ride the water slide on board the ship. It's all ship. Now with Labadee, that's an onshore resort that Royal Caribbean has built, millions of dollars. Carnival is building another one, a number of them in the Caribbean, millions and millions of dollars, signing 99-year leases for these private islands or private beaches, of a stretch of beach, that type of thing. A lot of that going on with, of course, pavilions for the weddings and for corporate getaways. If I'm a corporate promoter, if I'm a activities director for a larger corporation, and my boss says to me, I want to reward the top 500 employees of my company, find something we can do with the husbands and the wives and the husbands, or the traveling companion or the friend, an employee plus a guest. I would be looking at cruising. Yeah, I would absolutely be looking at chartering a large block of rooms on a cruise ship. That would be something really in my wheelhouse. And then I would, of course, organize the rental of the pavilion at the private island, because that day there's 3 hours of pavilion activities. You're handing out awards, bonus checks, what have you. And then the other 4 hours, run around the island all you want and have a good time. I'd be doing that big time. But yeah, these combo things I think are coming our way. Christine R is here. How you doing, Christine? Bruce, minus 17 Fahrenheit in Michigan. Oh God, this is the Arctic vortex, folks. I don't have to tell you folks about it. You're living it. I'm happy to say I'm not in the Arctic vortex. I'm getting Seattle and Vancouver, British Columbia weather, and it's wonderful. I'm avoiding the whole Arctic scene that you folks are in, and I'm sorry you are. Again, for any of you folks who are watching live who haven't signed in, you don't have to, but if you want to say hi to me, that would be great. Tell me where you are. What's your high temperature going to be today? We love comparing notes. For those of you who are watching this broadcast that happened today, this is the February the 5th, Monday. For those of you who are watching this tonight, tomorrow, next week, I'm reading the comments from for those who are watching me live right now, because you on the broadcast, on the replay, can't see these comments. They're not posted. So that's why I'm reading these notes all the time, saying hi. If you have any questions about cruising, let me know. Those of you who are watching the replay, if you have any questions about cruising, something you want me to look up for you, just pop a message in my comment box below here. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about answer your question for you if I can, and let you know. I'm on air Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, and I'm on the air Saturdays at 2 o'clock Eastern. So if you ever want to watch me live, you can do so, like these folks are watching me live now, and it's fantastic. Love having the comments coming in. Chevy in First just joined in. How you doing, Chevy in First? Hey, Bruce, 50 degrees here today in good old Georgia. Yeah, it's cool for you guys too, isn't it? The Carolinas are in the 40s, 50s, and it's cold in PA and Ontario, and the Maritimes are okay. Out west, we're okay. The middle of the country, middle of the continent, not so good. Very, very cold. Nice to have you here, Chevy First. We're talking about all kinds of stuff today. We've been talking about, can you live on a cruise ship kind of full time? Yes, you can. Can you live on a cruise ship affordably full time? Yes, you can, but it depends on what you're prepared to tolerate. I would say the most economical way to do it, of course, is an inside room, but that might not be so enjoyable. It might be tolerable with an ocean view room, but for a lot of you folks out there, maybe for me, I don't know, it may be an absolute mandatory. I have to have a balcony. I want my privacy. I want a private outdoor space. and I like to have a chair and an ottoman out there, yep, then that's the way it'll be. Then that's the way it's going to be. The budget will reflect it. If you're a single traveler, the trick of it is, unfortunately, that if you're trying to book a single room, certain cruise lines won't let you do it, or they'll let you do it, but it's double the price because you're taking up space that two people normally take up, and you're just one. On the other hand, some cruise lines are getting very flexible with regard to single supplements, they're calling it, where they'll offer you, well, we'll give you room for, say, the fare plus 20% or plus 40%. In other cases, if you're prepared to say, hey, listen, I'm prepared to stay on the ship for 3 months. What can you do for me? 3 months solid. I'm booking this cabin. What can you do for you? You don't know until you ask. You may find that they might very well accommodate you in a manner you hadn't thought of before. Never know. I love the idea of being on a cruise ship for a longer period of time, but I kind of like the idea of a variety itinerary. I don't think I want to be, doing Jamaica, Cayman, Cozumel. Jamaica, I don't want the 3 every week, every month. I'd like a little more than that. So I think I'd be happy with maybe a month doing that, like 4 cruises, and then a month being in the Eastern Caribbean, or a month being towards Honduras and Belize, maybe. I'd like a little more variety on an annual basis, but that's just me. Of course, once you're doing it for a while, you may find that it doesn't matter. You're quite happy being in Cayman once a week. Karen Livingston saying, Bruce, make sure you check on your provincial healthcare coverage for extended stays outside your home province. You may not be covered if gone for more than 7 months. Good point. If you're going to be gone a long time, like more than that amount of time, depending here in Canada, and depending on your healthcare provider in the U.S., if you're away from your home market for a longer period of time, you may have to have additional supplementary insurance. You may not have coverage in certain other spots. You have to be mindful of that. For Canadians who are going to go on a 3-month cruising expedition, say to the Caribbean, you don't have to worry about the American the clock running on you for the American stay. Here in Canada, we have to be careful that if we stay more than 182 days a year in the United States per year, we could become American taxpayers unwittingly, involuntarily. But if you're on a cruise, you're in Fort Lauderdale 1 day a week. And if your stops are in Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Mexico, you're not in the U.S. for 6 days in a row, and then you're back for 1 day, and then you're gone again. So over a 3-month time frame, you might only be on American soil for 12 days, 14 days. On the other hand, if the cruise you're on starts in Miami and ends up in San Juan, Puerto Rico for a day, you're on U.S. territory. And if you end up in St. Thomas, you might be again considered in U.S. territory. So you have to kind of keep an eye on that. But that's where the variety comes in. And even so, if you're only cruising for 3 months, it's 90 days total. And if those 90 days, if 30 of them are in the United States, you're not going to have an IRS tax problem. You're not going to hit the 182-day time limit anyway. And then from a health perspective, for healthcare, if you're going to be south in the U.S. or away from Canada for, say, 5 months of the winter, you don't have to worry about losing your healthcare coverage. And if you're also, doing 2 months on the cruise ship, flying home for Christmas, and then back 2 or 3 months on the cruise ship again, you've broken that pattern and you should be okay. But everybody has to figure it out for themselves. Each province in Canada is different, just like each state is different in the United States, and each insurance provider in the US is different than the other. So you have to check, you have to do your own homework. Another point to remember is your phone. If you have a cell phone, you're gonna have to check with your provider, your cell phone provider. You may not want to have a cell phone activated when you're away for 5 or 6 months on a cruise ship. On the other hand, you might be able to get an international plan that covers you for texts and emails and even telephone calls. You just have to look into that yourself. Let's see here. What do we got here? Okay, Christine R is asking, do people ship hop continuously? My aunt and uncle do that repeatedly, but not continuously all year. Yeah, I think there are. I think there are people who will, they'll be on a cruise for a week or two on one ship and then jump to another for a couple of weeks and to another. I can imagine how, again, if you're in front of a travel agent and you're looking at a calendar together and you're saying to the travel agent, okay, I'm going to give you instructions. And I'm going to give you a general overview of what I have in mind. I want to be on a cruise ship from between January 5th until the end of April. and the Caribbean is my region. What can you do for me for variety, for pricing, the best room available, but at the best price, and maybe shipboard credits or promotions and what have you, and maybe for loyalty discounts. If I'm on a Carnival ship or I'm on a Holland America ship for 60 days or 30 days or 20, do I get extra benefits? What can you do for me? That's the job of your travel agent. Might take them a few days before they get back to you, but they'll get back to you. And then you give them enough time, of course, and then let them come back to you and say, okay, kids, here's what we got. I've got this itinerary printed out. I got like 3 of them for you. 3 itineraries printed out, and they vary from, there's 4 different cruise lines involved. There's 7 different ships involved. There's 25 ports involved. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. This might be the trip you might talk about for years. You might only do it one time in your life, and you may not do it again. On the other hand, you might do it one time and go, wow, this is great. Next year, you know what? Instead of 4 cruise lines, we'll just do 2. And we want to be at these particular points. These are our 10 favorite ports. We prefer these 10. Throw a few others in. I get it. But boy, this would be great for next year. It all varies. You never know. That was Christine's question. Richard is saying, sounds like you should own a cabin on the World, which goes where the owners want to go. Wouldn't that be nice? Yes, it would. But I'll tell you, Richard, the price to get in, whew, that's a serious amount of money. Christine R is saying, I heard the World is pretty exclusive. I know I'm too low on the social and financial totem pole to be anything other than housekeeping. Yeah, Christine, I'll see you in the kitchen. We'll be doing dishes together. Teresa McFarland saying, my husband and I ship hop. We are leaving on the 16th, going on Royal Caribbean for 8 days first. Then the next week going on Norwegian Cruise Lines for 7 days, doing the same thing in November, November 2nd, 2 different cruise lines. You bet. I mean, this is, if you've ever done it before and you know all about it, why not? If you've never done it before, what an adventure. It's worth a shot. Give it a go. What do you got to lose? I mean, how many people how many coworkers of yours would look at you in envy when they ask you, oh, what are you doing for your winter? Are you going to get on holidays? Oh yeah, I'm going on 2 cruises back to back. I'm going on Royal Caribbean. I'm going on Norwegian. I'm going to see these 15 different ports. What are you doing for your holidays this year? You win. I tell you, that would be great. Karen is saying, Karen Lipson, you must leave USA for more than 30 days for the clock to restart. If you leave on a cruise from USA for less than 30 days, it counts as if you're in the States the whole time. Well, there's some interesting information. Stuff you learn all the time. It's a question of just how you put it together and where you're going and whatever. Again, if it's 3 months, it's 3 months. If you're doing January, February, March from Miami to the Caribbean and back, if they count it all, it's 90 days. You're still well within your 182 or whatever the number is, and so you should be okay. It's when you're shooting that 182 level, you're kind of getting close. You have to watch that. And you have to also watch consecutive years. There's a whole lot of information on the internet about this for Canadians who need to know. But I would say that for a first-time experience to experience a cruise after a cruise after a cruise after a cruise, it's an adventure that you may not have thought of, something you might want to think about. And you may just do 4 cruises in a row, same ship, same itinerary, balcony, and let's see how we like it. And you might hate it. You might find it after the 4th. I can handle it, but boy, when that last cruise finished, oh, I was so glad to get off that thing. And you might be done with it. You never know. But until you try it, you don't know at all. And if you've never cruised before, you got to try a cruise. And I always recommend for a newbie, a first timer, take a 1-week cruise. You could do a 2-day cruise, a 4-day cruise, but those are generally short-term booze cruises, and that's not a true reflection of what a cruise ship life is, what it's really like on board a cruise. Even 1 week might be too short, but it's a good taste. Take a 1-week cruise. You'll have 3 or 4 stops in the say Caribbean for the wintertime, or Mexico down from LA down the Mexican Riviera. Take a 1-week cruise and get a taste of cruise ship life. See if you like having your bed made for you every day. See if you like having 5-star dining every day. See if you like the pools. I know you can compare it to resorts, all-inclusive resorts. I know you can, but the view changes all the time on a cruise ship. It doesn't stay the same. And you may find that is a That's a pretty good deal. And the pricing, I think, is right. You can't compete. All-inclusive resorts, generally speaking, in a 5-star category, they can't compete with a cruise ship. A 3-star all-inclusive resort or a 2-star all-inclusive resort, yeah, that can compete, but you don't want to go there. You just don't. You just should don't go there. Let's see here. Karen is saying you must also fill in an IRS form to stay 182 in the USA, 182 days longer. Otherwise, you're allowed around 120 days. Yeah, there's like I said, there's all kinds of rules you have to observe as Canadians. You have to look into that. If you're going to take, like I say, a 90-day time frame to enjoy, you should be okay. You don't have any worries. And if you want to do, repositioning cruise from the U.S. to Europe, and then you want to take a series of European cruises, you have nothing to worry about with regard to the IRS. They're over there. You're over here. You're fine. So you'll be fine. You'll be all good. I'll tell you, that was I think a good chat today. I hope I've intrigued some of you folks to look into something like this, or I hope I haven't bored you. I think it's fascinating that you can do back-to-back cruises, and some of these deals are so good you just can't pass them up. I think it's fantastic. You can make the trip what you want it to be, and again, depending on your age and your physical abilities, your medical conditioning. Perhaps living on a cruise ship for a while might be something to seriously consider. And yet again, it might not. For some folks, they would far rather have back-to-back all-inclusive resorts in Cuba or in Dominica or in Mexico. It all depends. If you're into RVing, there's a whole world there, and it's its own lifestyle, and you can make that as basic as you want or as luxurious as you want, and everywhere in between. I mean, RVing, don't look at an RVer and go, oh, those poor people living outdoors and it's always dusty and no, you can make RVing quite nice if you wish. It's a question of your budget and what kind of lifestyle you want to lead on the road, and what kind of vacation you want. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up today. I want to thank everybody for joining in. I hope if you've just joined me for the first time, you think about subscribing. There's a subscribe button here. There should be a subscribe button there. And if you hit the bell notification icon, you'll get alerts every time I do a new video or go on the air. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. If you have any other comments, enter them later on this video as it posts. And I'll be on again tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow, Tuesday, February the 6th, 5 p.m. Eastern. All this week until Friday, and then Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern. I hope you had a good time today, folks. I enjoyed it very much. I look forward to talking to you. Doreen, I see you there. I'm saying good night to you too, Doreen, and to Karen, and to Teresa, and to Christine, and Richard, and Chevy and First, and Paula K, Crash 3X, Betsy. Who else is here today? Teresa, SMJ was here. AJ Walsh was here. Elizabeth. Thanks all you guys for joining today. I really appreciate you participating. I love the comments. Have a great night, you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Bruce saying goodbye with Traveling with Bruce. We're going to see you next time. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.